Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. So this week, we're a couple days out from the Romance Readathon actually starting, which is crazy because July has just flown by. But I'm a part of like kind of a big collab video that's going on that has to do with our TBRs and like book recommendations. Autumn from Nose in a Book. She really is the mastermind of this whole thing, but she had actually put in the Readathon Discord that it would be really cool if a bunch of us just kind of put book recommendations or our TBRs together, and we did a bunch of videos and posted them this weekend. So I thought that was amazing because I was already doing this with my amazing co-hosts, which I will link down below, but I thought it was great because if you guys want to like get in on this action too, I am absolutely here for it. So that being said, I'm going to be putting a playlist together as the videos come out, so you guys can feel free to come back and check out all the book recommendations that you want. All right? Just be prepared for your TBRs to explode. All right, so that being said, I have quite a few books here. All the ones that I already mentioned for the like historical fantasy romance, I think I did that like 2 weeks ago. Those, of course, are already on my TBR, babe. All right, like I'm so excited for those. But I wanted to go over more historical romance specific ones. But actually, before I do that, there is one absolute definitive book that I'm going to be reading because I view TBRs as like, you know, they're options. They're more like guidelines, okay? So there is one book, though, that I am definitively going to read, and that's To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, because we're doing this for Hannah Blackwell's, her book club. It's literally, actually, I believe the first one is in August, on August 11th. So the book for that is going to be To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, which is like a dark, gritty, sort of like Rapunzel reimagining. So I'm here for it, especially because I saw in the comments that it's gory. So I'm very excited. I really hope it's gory. But as far as like an actual synopsis for you guys, it's kind of hard to tell what the true plot is about. So I'm going to do the best I can for you here. But essentially, we have this dark romance where it's loosely based off of Rapunzel, but there's a girl, it sounds like. She's a young girl, and there's this huge war that's been kind of going on, and everyone is essentially slaughtered except for her. For whatever reason, she has been saved and she has been plucked out of this war and she's been taken to this castle. But she's not truly stuck in the castle, or the tower, if you will. She's kind of drawn this imaginary line and she's been telling herself that if she stays here, she's safe. If she goes outside of the castle, she's gonna die. So she's kind of put this all on herself. It's not any sort of outside person convincing her that she can't leave. But there's a man who's actually the one who's looking over her. She's his ward, and she apparently has developed this deep passion and love for this man, but he's very hands-off, very distant. Her love is very much not reciprocated, so she's kind of living in this turmoil of wanting to stay in this castle and be with this man, but he wants nothing to do with her. Or at least that's how it seems. But then, lo and behold, a bunch of monsters are starting to come to their door. So she needs to answer some form of a truth that she's been ignoring about herself as these monsters come to the door. And that's all the information I have. All right, so I don't know how intriguing I'm making that for you, but I will say this. There is one thing that's very, very important. People love this. It has very high reviews, but I did see that a lot of people mentioned that they wanted to DNF the book at first. Basically, within the first 9 chapters, it kind of felt very claustrophobic, but everyone said push through it. It's worth it. The author did that on purpose to kind of make you feel like what Rapunzel's life is like. But once you get past that, it gets way better. Okay, so just bear that in mind. That's the one fantasy romance that I wanted to definitely tell you guys about, since I will for sure be reading that. And that will be on August 11th, by the way, over on Hannah's channel, all right? It's spelled by Romance Book Club, in case you're looking it up. Spelled by romance. But anyways, onto the historical romance stuff. The first book I have is actually, like, we're starting off with a bang, babe. Okay? I haven't read historical romance in a while, but this is Duke of Desire by Elizabeth Hoyt, and it looks like it's part of the Maiden Lane novels, so it's a series, but you can read them as standalones. But this one has a marriage of convenience, we got a duke, and there's a kidnapping. So, I mean, come on. But anyways, the plot of this book is we have this young woman, very gentle lady, who for whatever reason has been the target of the Lords of Chaos, and she's being kidnapped. And she's being kidnapped by a naked man in a mask. And he takes her to his carriage. But her gentle side definitely changed into something a little bit more vicious. And she grabs a gun and she ends up shooting him. but she comes to find out that he's not truly a Lord of Chaos. It's some man who's trying to actually infiltrate the League and destroy them. So he's actually trying to save her. But he ends up realizing that the only way he can truly save her is that if he marries her. That's how he can keep her away from the Lords of Chaos. So they enter into a marriage of convenience, but our girl here, she refuses to be the type of wife that isn't truly a partner in every sense of the word. So she goes after our guy here. So that's where it leaves off. I think it's going to be really good. The Lords of Chaos sounds like it's going to be like a fun little addition into it. I love historical romance that has a little bit more of like an action-y sort of plot. I don't like just the romance. I like a little bit more substance for me to sink my teeth into, you know? So I am really excited about that one. I probably will definitely read that one. Now for the next one here, this one also sounds really good, but this is Desire Never Dies by Jenna Peterson, which I don't think I've actually ever heard of this author before. But this also sounds like it has some really good action and some good plot to it. But it sounds like we have a lady, I don't know what her title is, but it sounds like we have a lady who is a spy on the side, and she's a master code breaker, and she works for London. And essentially there's some man, some mastermind out there who's attempting to bring down her spy's organization. So she has to actually end up working with this man named Tyler, which it sounds like he's not titled. He's just a spy himself. But she needs to work with him in order to bring down this mastermind. But they have this intense attraction to one another, so they need to try and like stay away from each other because that can definitely ruin their mission. But it sounds like the temptation is just too much. So I'm intrigued by it. I think it will be fun. I like the whole spy aspect. I think I've only read like a couple spy ones in the past, but I don't feel like I've read a ton. And I don't even remember what those books were, which is a shame. But moving on to the next one. This one's by Colleen Shannon, which I don't know if I've actually read her before either, but this is called The Gentle Beast. It's a fairy tale romance. And whether it's historical romance or fantasy romance, I always love a good fairy tale retelling. And my favorite is Beauty and the Beast. And of course, this is based off of Beauty and the Beast. But this one sounds really, really pretty. Really pretty. It looks very pretty. But it sounds really good. But essentially what we have is we have this young woman, her name's Callista. She was raised in wealth and she's very intelligent, but there's some sort of cruel twist of fate where it sounds like she loses her fortune and she runs into this man who just has like this deep desire to destroy her family. Our beast here. And for whatever reason, he's wearing this really hideous mask, but he takes her away and takes her to his lair. And that's honestly kind of where the plot dies. I don't know what happens when they're in the lair, but it sounds like she realizes that her wits and just like her brains isn't going to be enough to get herself away from this man. She's going to actually need to use her seductive ways in order to like tame him. So we shall see. This one, it sounds like it doesn't have maybe as like much action going on as the previous two, but it's Beauty and the Beast, so I'm excited about it. But the last one that I actually have here, this is Shadow Play by Catherine Sutcliffe, which I don't think I've actually read her before either. It's a really pretty like double page step back. I'll have to see if I can get a picture for you guys. But this one, when I first read the back, it kind of reminded me of The Mummy for some reason. It doesn't have like the fantastical elements of The Mummy, but those are the vibes I'm getting, all right? But the whole idea behind this is that we're in the Amazon. We have this supposed adventurer where he's supposed to be incredibly courageous and he's like a god amongst the Indians of the Amazon. But it turns out to all truly be a farce. But this woman from London, she leaves the glittering past behind and goes into this raw, rugged Amazon forest. And she meets up with this man to kind of lead her on her mission. For what? I don't know yet, but he plans on just using her and abusing her and then just throwing her out. So that's not good. But it turns out as they come together, there's true danger that's actually going to be befalling them. So I'm excited. I think it has like some really cool plot to it. It feels like a lot like The Mummy to me. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I'm here for the Brandon Fraser vibes. All right. So I think this could be really good. I'm really, fingers crossed, hoping that it's going to be good. But those are the 4 historical romances that I'm really interested in. There's other ones as well, but I'm not going to lie. I'm getting over being sick and my head hurts really bad right now. So I don't know how much I can really go on. But I do want to read The Highwayman, which I think is by Catherine Byrne, because I keep hearing that it's really, really good, and I just need to check it out. So I do want to read that as well. But that's all I really got for you guys right now. I'm sorry. This video might have been really short, but my head's throbbing, so I think I need to go chill. But I will see you guys over at the Romance Readathon. Again, there's going to be so many book recs going on this weekend. I'll put them all in the playlist, but if you don't know what the Romance Readathon is, I'll link all the information below. But essentially, we're all getting together, we're reading a bunch of books, we're going to have a good time. It's Bridgerton themed. It will be a blast. I'll just link a video that explains it better. So, peace. I think I'm going to go take a nap. Bye.